Welcome to Insaga.com podcast on RogersTV Peel, or if you're listening to us on Insaga.com. My name is Arlene.
And my name is Khaled, and we have the world famous, and for real world famous, starting from scratch here. What's up?
What up? What up? What up? What up?
Thanks for being on the show, man.
Yeah,
Thank you.
So
cool.
Arlene's so excited.
I was really excited when you told me.
It's like starting from scratch is coming.
I know.
So what's your Mississauga connection?
Basically, this is where it all started for me. So my mom moved us up here when I was like 14. I have a feeling you asked me this before, though.
Yeah.
This seems like some deja vu moment. We're
Yeah,
having.
probably.
But yeah, she moved us up here when I was 14, which is a long time ago. And this is pretty much it. Started my high school here, and this is where my interest in DJing started. And this is where I actually, everything kind of came out of this area.
Nice.
That's
Which is pretty
awesome.
cool. Yeah.
That's cool. So starting from scratch, how did you get that name?
The lovely story.
Yes, we all want to know.
Please tell us.
Well, way back when, the new kids won't know about this, but we used to have a thing called a TV guide, which was
I totally
paper
remember
in
that.
paper form.
Yeah.
And when you first start DJing, everybody's like, you need a DJ name, and
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't want the cheesy, first name with a Y at the end, and then put it out. So I was like, I gotta find something, and I was just kind of looking through records, couldn't find anything, and looked through the TV guide, and it was like this in bold letters, the name of this like kid show or kid special, and just said starting from scratch, and it was like that Zen moment, and I was like, okay, that's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, never heard it before, so I was like, okay,
Yeah.
let's try it out. Made
So
sense.
Cool.
the name started from scratch from TV Guide then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it
awesome.
stuck.
But it makes sense,
It
you
totally
got the
does.
scratch in there, and I
For
literally
sure.
started from scratch because I had nothing when I
Yeah.
started. So
Yeah.
it was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
So do you remember your first couple of vinyl purchases?
I do, to a point. My memory stinks.
Okay.
So, I remember it was it would been It Takes Two. Then there was like Backbone Slide, and because I used to go to like Records on Wheels and stuff in Mississauga, and back then when HMV had vinyl and stuff, and then I never really made the downtown trips till later on.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was probably like in that era. So, and it was more of that kind of stuff. Plus, like a lot of the back then was like Inner City and the Hip House and 10 City and all that kind of stuff. So that little genre was my first shot at it.
Cool.
Cool. So when you were starting out, did you have anybody mentoring you?
Or any mentors? DJ?
I did and I didn't. I would say my mentors had no clue that they were my mentors because I was kind of like listening. When I lived in Montreal, I used to have a lot of mix shows on radio and stuff at night, but I didn't even know what it was. I just would hear it, and for some reason, I just took to it. Like it'd be like endless hours of music without breaks and stuff.
Right.
And I loved it, and I used to record them all the time, not knowing that what the DJ was actually doing. And I was never exposed to it till I got here. It was the first time I actually saw it, and I was like, "This is pretty cool." So I still had those tapes from Montreal. So I used to listen. I used to listen to like, Deadly Headley, Chris Shepherd back in the days. And just used to sit on my bed at night and record these radio shows that they would do on like CFNY and stuff back in the day.
Yeah.
And then those were kind of really my mentors. And then I would listen to records and listen to scratching on the records and kind of slow it down, bring it back, slow it down.
Wicked.
So I never really had like a hands-on, this is what you do, until kind of later on, a couple years down the road, where somebody actually said, well, instead of learning with the broken method, let's try and teach you properly. So
Nice.
Cool.
That's cool.
So you also spin for or with Russell Peters.
absolutely.
Okay. So how did that come to be?
We've been friends since high school days, really.
Yeah.
He was always up here. He was always up in Brampton. I was in Mississauga, and then I guess through Circus, he's a DJ as well.
Yeah. How is he as a DJ?
He's
I
good.
didn't know
Yeah?
that.
He's good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a music nerd. He's a DJ. He's exactly like me.
Okay.
Not as good as a DJ.
Yeah.
And I'm a way funnier guy than
Yeah.
he is. But yeah, just kind of met through a circle of friends. And then he used to just come over to my house. We used to jam. And then, he kind of stuck with his comedy thing and went one direction. I stuck with mine and went the other direction. And then like early 2000s, he kind of came back to me, and he was starting to do world tours now. And
Yeah.
he's like, I want to take a DJ. And then he took me. We went all over the place. And now he added Spinbad. So it's like myself and Spinbad, we opened the show for him. We're on for like, an hour and 15, 20 minutes before him.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Cool.
but it's pretty cool.
So
How old were you when you did your first, your first event as a DJ?
High school, so
Yeah.
I'd say probably 16-ish,
That's
17-ish. Yeah.
Wow.
I actually got permission from my principal, who was actually CFL legend Rush Jackson back then. So he's like really
Wow.
cool.
at TLK, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
TLK.
TLK,
So
yeah.
he was
That's
like
nuts.
really, really cool, really down to earth guy.
Okay.
And then he kind of saw what I was doing because, you know, in the cafeteria, it's like you have all your little sections.
Right.
And I was kind of that guy that would go in everybody's section. So I would just sit with everybody and play music. And we used to have these little tape recorders and we'd play music. And then I went to the principal and I was like, can I DJ during lunch?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, what do you mean DJ? And I was like, well, let me try it.
Right.
And he's like, okay. And then used to bring in stuff and we'd DJ at lunch and then went to school dances and on and on and on.
Awesome.
Right?
Nice.
So I guess all of that, it actually started from the cafeteria.
So cool.
Yeah.
And sorry, you had you toured with Usher as well.
Yeah.
Right. I heard you had a crazy experience with that.
Yeah, that was a game changer for me. That was, I think, 5 years ago now.
Yeah.
And he was in his idol moments where he wasn't as big.
Yep.
And then, but everybody kind of knew him. So I did a wedding for a friend. He was there. There was like 100 people there. And he loved it. He came up to me at the end of the night and he's like, what are you doing in November? And I said, I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah. Nice.
That was pretty much the conversation. He's like, okay, I'm going to hit you up. And then, you know, a couple weeks later, I'm in South Carolina doing rehearsals with them.
That's crazy.
And then originally he wanted me just to open, kind of like what I do for Russell, was just play music before he comes on because it was the ladies tour at that time.
Yeah.
And then first day of rehearsals, he's like, okay, I want you to be part of the band. I was like, okay. And then second day of rehearsals, he's like, do you do the mic? And I was like, not really.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, you're going to do the mic. And he's like, I want you to do the solo. So I'm in the band. I open the show. I have my own break.
So you've never emceed before until that?
Never. I mean, I've done it, you know, in a club, but
Yeah.
this is different. This
Yeah.
is like center stage, white light, boom. And
Yeah.
it's like
Wow.
my moment in Usher's show. So I was
That's
like,
amazing.
had the jitters. It took me a while to get used to it.
That's awesome.
A lot of alcohol consumption
That
to
always helps.
ease the trauma. Yeah, but it all worked out in the end. And yeah, it really changed me a lot.
Cool.
So,
And you also toured with George Lopez as well, right?
Yeah, I did and Santana. I did some shows with George
Oh,
Lopez and Santana,
cool.
which was amazing.
Nice.
At the Hollywood Bowl.
cool.
Yeah, so it's amazing.
So, is there anything you want to plug?
Just the regular stuff, which
Yeah.
is probably scrolling on the bottom of the screen.
And you're on Flow every morning?
I'm on Flow 5 times a day.
Yes, 5 times a day.
5 times a day. That's why I have bags under my eyes
Okay,
all the
good.
time. 7, 8, 9 in the morning, and then 11:45 for the throwback session, and 5:00 p.m. And I'm on, catch me on Radio 1 in Dubai now on Saturdays with my man Danny Neville.
Wow.
Nice.
I want to make sure I'm working on a lot of future radio projects, trying to expand the radio brand.
Cool.
Amazing.
Thanks.
Cool. Well, thanks
Yeah.
so much for coming on.
Yeah,
on
thanks
the
so
show.
much, man.
This
So,
is great.
And so we'll be back after the break.
Yeah. Thanks, Scratch.
Thanks so much, man.
You.